Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. It is Tuesday, November 11th. Can't believe it, but we are here. Welcome. My name is Anne Marie. For those who are new around here, I am the AM from the Handmade by AM Bevel, which is the channel here. I have like so much fun things prepared. I got my patriotic stuff on tonight since here in the U.S. it is Veterans Day, and thanks to the veterans out there. My father's a veteran, my grandfathers were veterans, my uncles were veterans, my dad's mother was a veteran, and now my nephew, my oldest nephew, is now in the Air Guard. So is he a veteran if he's active? I don't know how that works. But he is choosing to serve, and so here we are. Hello, Julie. And so I did have the day off as a state employee. This was a state holiday for us as well, so kind of a random day, which did allow me to prepare, I think, fairly well for tonight. And I did get all of my Thanksgiving cards done, which was something I'd been putting off. And they are my family Thanksgiving cards, and that will be probably my happy Thanksgiving post to you all over on my Facebook page. So make sure to head over there if you are not following me. I did post a card yesterday, and I have several posts scheduled. I'm getting back into the Facebook swing of things. So if you didn't see my card that I posted yesterday, please make sure when you're done watching here that you head over to Facebook and, like that picture and leave a comment. And I think it's tied to a video, and I put the video down in the comments as well if you had missed that. So that's what I'm hoping to do. If there's a video tied to a card, I'm going to try to link the video in that first comment. So we'll see how well that works out. They are also on Instagram, but Instagram doesn't do links like Facebook does. So you will have to work hard if you're looking at them on Instagram. So, to give you an update, if you were here last week, I talked about this demonstrator exclusive designer series paper that I am giving away. We need to sell 10 kits this month. Oh, no, Gus, no. Yep, just keep on going, buddy. Ooh, okay. So we need to sell at least 10 kits ordered from me this month, and that will, each kit you order will enter you into the drawing to win the paper that is displayed here on the screen. The only way to get this DSP is to be a demonstrator and sell 10 kits from the kits collection or scrapbook workshop kits in the month of November. We are at 3 of 10, so 7 more will guarantee that this paper will be given away to one of you who orders a kit from me. So like one person had ordered 2 kits, so they will have their name in the drawing 2 times. So that's how that works. If I do not sell 10 kits, I will select something from my retired stash that will be given away instead. So it's just kind of a fun little thing. This is just a demonstrator reward that I'm just passing on to my customers. It is a 12 by 12 pack of paper. So the other thing that there were new products that were launched last week, and we are going to focus on one today, hence the title of the video. And coming December 1st through 9th is going to be a prepaid paper pumpkin sale, which is a really good deal. Will make a great gift, and it pretty much a 3, 6, or 12-month prepaid subscription. And it does start in the December kit, which you would not be able to skip, but it's going to be a good one, so you wouldn't want to anyways. And it gets the kit down, if you prepay, down to $20.33 a month off the regular $27 a month. So if you're already a subscriber, you might consider picking up a prepaid kit. You will earn Stampin' Rewards off of those. And I'll probably post some more information about that and in probably the next newsletter when that gets going. Okay, so let's get started. I think that's what I have. I'm glad that you're here. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe if you are not already. And if you're watching this on the replay, make sure to leave a comment or 2 or 10. Okay, so hence the title, Stampin' Up! The Vellum has returned, and it's a slightly different configuration. When we had Vellum, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I feel like it's been a couple of years, it was 8.5 by 11. Now it is 12 by 12 sheets, which is great for our scrapbooking friends because maybe you want a Vellum for your entire page. That would actually be really cool. I didn't really think about that till just now. It is $10. Look how I wrote the price there. There are 12 sheets. And of course, then you can cut them down. And I have several cut here. And I do not have any of the old Stampin' Up! Vellum, but man, I feel like this is really thick. So I remember Stampin' Up's previous Vellum being of a good quality as well. Like, this is not easy to tear. It is thick. It does cut nice. It will die cut nicely as well. I have been, for the most part, for this project, been cutting these to, I had it in my head, 4 3/4 by 3.5, which then kind of leaves me with like this little piece here size, probably more like this size, which this is great for, you could have a sentiment on here, you could do some small die cuts. I'm going to be using them for something else slightly, but you will see that during the video, but it does kind of leave with some decent pieces, but it die cuts well. And let's see, somebody else is here. Oh, Mom is here. Hello, Mom. Okay, see, keep it on top of things. So the Vellum returned last week, so if you are ordering some kits this month to take advantage and try to enter in my little kit DSP giveaway, add a pack of Vellum if you haven't used it in a while. And with the Vellum, I'm just so excited that now we can do the Blends alcohol technique, which is something my stamp club we did. Let's see, I brought up the sheet. June of 2021. So that's like 4.5 years ago, which is kind of wild because it didn't seem like it was that long ago that we did this, but apparently it was. So we're going to just do some easy backgrounds with this, and I am featuring the Merry Christmas stamp because, you know, I'm still working on Christmas cards. And it's just one stamp, this large photo polymer stamp, which is fantastic. And it does fit really nicely on this size. It's actually, is this the size of this block? Almost. Great little stamp that I'm finally using, and this Vellum technique is a great way to use it. So there's going to be like 2 things I'm going to show, and I have several samples, and we'll put at least one card together. Where's my sheet? Okay. So what you need for this is precautionary. The silicone sheet, probably don't really need it. It just makes me feel better. So with this, you need to have Stampin' Blends, and for this, I think this first demonstration, I'm just going to do Cherry Cobbler here. I'll probably just use the dark one. And you need isopropyl alcohol of at least 91% is the minimum, or higher. You go on Amazon and get some, the drugstore probably. I have mine in this, apparently mine's 200 proof. This is not Mountain Dew, but this is how it came to me from Wiley. Wiley provided this with me. I don't know where it came from, but this is my craft alcohol, which is kind of running low. This used to be about, at one time, about halfway full. So if you're ever in my craft room and you're like, why is there a Mountain Dew bottle in there? It's because that's my isopropyl alcohol from Wiley, my husband. So you need that. And then for this first card, I have loaded my spritzer. There's not much left in here, but it's going to be enough for the demonstration, I think. If not, we will carefully pour some more in there. Okay, Mom is saying she got 91% at Dillon's, so the drugstore, the grocery store, but it does need to be 91% or it does not work. So what I'm going to do for this first one is going to be super easy, and this is what's so great with the Vellum, is it takes the alcohol marker, our blend, and then when you add alcohol, just plain alcohol to it, it evaporates so fast, it dries very quickly, so it kind of looks watercolorish, but with less drying time. So this first one, this is going to be like the easiest technique here. I'm just going to take the brush tip and I'm going to just do like this. And if you want, you could color the whole thing. You could go this way, you could add some, but I'm, for this purpose, just doing this. I like this diagonal look. Adding in the lighter color sometimes has an effect or not, but this is just one color. I wanted this to be very, very simple for the first. And then I'm just going to take my spritzer and I'm going to spritz that. And again, this is the alcohol, it's not water. And let's see, how well can you tell that that is reacting? I feel like the light might be a little goofy. So you could just set this off and let it dry like this, but what I like to do is let it run a little bit. And so I'm holding it so you can start to see it drip. And if it's not, and again, it dries quickly, so if you need to, you could spritz it again. And then I'm going to like rotate it this way. No two are going to be alike. And I think while we're doing this, I might just do one more little spritz. And, you know, if I were to set it down, all those little, like, bubbles kind of you're seeing would stay. You could come through, because the second one we'll be focusing on a paintbrush. If you wanted, you could come through and do something with the paintbrush. But I'm kind of letting this do its own thing. And I'm going to let it come back this way again. Again, I'm just kind of creating, it's just a free form deal. And I think that's probably pretty good. We let it dry and we end up with something when it dries, which it won't take that long. We end up with like this. So this is shaded spruce. This is the dark, this is the light. So there is a difference. Otherwise, it's about the same. It is kind of cool. I don't know if you can see, the dark one I think does a good job. You can kind of see some of the, you kind of get these color striations in there. And I love this like little pool hard line that sometimes you get. And once it's dry, if you wanted, you could add more ink to it, re-spritz it, and kind of mess around with it until you like it. And then we could come through and we could heat set it with Merry Christmas and we'd end up with something like this. Or let's see, or here's a red one. Now we are going to make a full card, but I'm just showing you how simple. So it's just taking some DSP and we're going to, putting that on there with a heat set embossed Merry Christmas. Just using that very simple one. Now, the next one we're going to do, I don't have a sample, so that's what we're going to actually assemble, is kind of the next technique. And this is all ready dry, just FYI, that's how quickly it dried. So for this next one, I thought we would do greens because I have this set up. Now, unfortunately, there is garden green in this pack of paper, the green snowflakes, the evergreen snowflake paper. I don't know if that's what it's called. That's what I'm calling it. There is no garden green blend, which I wish there was for this demonstration, because I'm like, why? But I'm going to use two of the other colors in here. I have Old Olive and Shaded Spruce. And this is a Shaded Spruce card base. And so I'm going to kind of do, I did before, I'm going to do little squiggles. Now this tip is goofy on this marker, but it's doing the job for me now. Okay, just like that, not covering up all the way. It looks a little goofy. Now we could spritz this like we just did, but we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to get my bottle of alcohol and I'm going to pour a little bit in the cap. You can, do whatever container you have. This just works for me because of my setup, and I have it set up over a way where it's not going to spill on anything. And I just have a paintbrush. Now you could use one of your aqua painters. You could load your aqua painter, I think, with that alcohol. Though I don't know, you'd want to store it upside down. I don't know if it would affect the bristles, honestly. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to really wet this brush, and then I'm going to do some taps. And I really want it to kind of stay this way, though I might blend a little bit of it out. Let's lift this up here real quick off of this, because I'm going to show you I don't want it to smear too much. We're going to set that off to the side. And this one that we just did, I said you could add color and do more. What if we just did okay, we'll let that dry for a second. And I'll show you while we're letting that one finish drying. Here's one that I did similar to the one I just did, but this has got a Secret Sea in there and Pretty Peacock with Old Olive. This one didn't match up well to any of the Christmas paper, even though they were in the colors. I didn't like how it looked, but I thought I could put a happy birthday on this, or even if I did like a strip happy birthday, like not even necessarily embossing on here. Here's a red I did. This was just splatters, and I think this was cherry cobbler. This was real red, which is like what I just did with the red. This was spritz first and did the do-si-do and then let it dry and then did the little bubbles. This one will end up getting a Merry Christmas on it. This one I did the light and the dark real red, so I think you can kind of tell that they're, and I did like candy cane stripes, and I just let them kind of drip down this way and this way. So you kind of can tell the pattern, but I left it that way on purpose. And here's one where I did all of the colors kind of this idea, but I spritzed. So you can see that there's these little bubbles. That's because through the spritz those stayed, and I didn't I did this extra spritz after I had done the tilty whirl. That's what we're going to call that. And then I spritzed it again and didn't tilt or whirl, so that's how you get that look, versus like the science experiment look, which is the tapping of the brush. Again, I didn't think this one paired up well with the green Christmas papers, thinking it would, so these will probably turn into like a birthday or hello. And we're going to just pour that into there. Make sure that cap's on there really good. And we're going to do this and be like, yeah, you know, I think it's going to work. It'll be kind of a fun, funky Christmas situation. I don't think there would be a better paper. I thought that that dark background would look good. Let me just take a peeky peek before I fully commit, though I feel like I'm... You know what's cool about this paper, let me see, do I have a smaller scrap? Like the back almost looks like this spritzed on the vellum, which is pretty cool. Oh, hey, Nikki. So let's talk about heat embossing on vellum. One thing, since this vellum's thicker, it's actually quite lovely. Are we a little out of focus and gibbered around? I am so sorry. Let me catch up on comments here. Oh, you like my... Yeah, but I wanted to pair them with... You could put Merry Christmas on these. I just didn't like how they paired with the paper. It didn't come out the way in my brain. But I think this one's going to be okay. And I am going to use gold. I have not done any in silver, but I'm doing gold because I have this amazing ribbon here, which I can tie. You want to watch me make it into a teeny tiny bow. This is small, but with this gold edge, it looks super cute. So that's why we're going with the gold, because I have the gold edge ribbon. And this is shaded spruce, which is what my card base is, with the gold edge. And is this like an inch? Yep, it's an inch wide. Wouldn't this be great on a package? So pretty. Okay. I'm getting out my foam mat because it is photopolymer, and the size of the stamp, I want to make sure that I get a good impression. I am going to use my embossing buddy. I don't think it's as bad on the vellum as our regular paper because the oils aren't really doing much here, but yeah, safer than sorry. Got my little embossing kit tray here. I'm going to raise up just a little bit. Sorry for that. We will refocus. There we go. That looks better. And I have my Versamark. It is pretty juicy, so we're just going to tap, tap, tap. These larger stamps with this, I like doing it upside down. Are you an upside down inker as well? Let me know. Tell me in the comments, are you an upside down inker? And this is a nice sturdy foam mat. It gives you just the right pressure. Ooh, can you see the Merry Christmas? Gold embossing powder. What's nice about the vellum is it does kind of create its own funnel, which is great. I'm just going to give it a little peek. It is sometimes hard to tell. I think this is going to look really good. Got a little... I did check to make sure it was kind of pretty much dry, because this is the one I was using the alcohol with. Okay. So my recommendation for vellum is to, I have this nice little holder here. Let's see if I can put that back in the paintbrush. Paintbrushes are probably just from Amazon. I think this is a set my mom bought me, who's watching live. I am going to, on the Stampin' Up! Heat Emboss, there's a 1 and a 2 setting. I like to use just the 1 setting on the vellum. Upside down inker. I I just saw it. So I put my stamp and then I left it down and then put the ink pad to it. Is that not the right thing to call it? Upside down inker versus doing this with the ink pad, especially on this Versamark, which is smaller. So I'm going to get my fun little reverse tweezers here, which are amazing. And we're going to have some heat emboss action. And I'm going to heat it up a little bit. And I'm going to start heating this upside down. Again, I'm on the low setting. It's going to take a little bit longer, but it's not too bad. And I did this, I've made 3. This is my 4th, and they were not curling with this because it's still enough heat to melt our embossing powder. And see, it's already melting some there. And then I'm going to finish up on the front. And a good tip is to keep it moving. And it is nice. This pad does, I think, help too with the heat because it can kind of absorb. That's a lot for the front. So then I'm going to switch to the back. It wasn't quite as good as I thought. What I love, why I ordered this Merry Christmas stamp is because it really makes the card. Of course, on this vellum, plain on the vellum, it's going to look fabulous. Other reasons or other ways to use vellum. This is the fun way. This is, I think, the funnest way to use vellum is with the alcohol. If you have maybe a really bright patterned paper, and you're like, oh, I really kind of like it, but it's just too bright. Use a piece of vellum as a filter, and I can demonstrate that. Is that melted? I think so. And we have this beautiful, is that done there? I think so. That middle of it is, that was up high. Oh, it wasn't done. My gut was right. There, that does look much better. Isn't that beautiful? It's the prettiest stamp. And if you needed quick Christmas cards, just get this now. You could do this on plain paper, okay? This isn't a rocket science to heat emboss this beautiful sentiment. But, we're going to throw this on here, but think about how just putting this over the top here, it mutes the design, but you could still see it. So if it was this way on a project, you could do like a little circle thing here with a sentiment and maybe some other embellishments. Think about it even on the reverse side. And I like doing it and then you get to still see the border when you're not doing anything else, because, I don't know, it just adds, it gives you an extra little something. But we're kind of going all out on this one. And we're doing this. Because that's who we are today. We are this. So how do we put this on? So vellum is tricky, but to hide your adhesive. But what I have found, since we have all of this cool backgroundy stuff going on, and then we have this beautiful stamp, what I did on my other cards, I did use tear and tape, and I just laid it across the happy, or merry, I guess, and Christmas, like this. And then I could come with my bone folder And I mean, you can see it right now because the strips are there. And now you'd have to, maybe you can see them now because you know that they're there, but you really don't know that they are there. So then you could put this on with dimensionals or just adhere. I'm going to adhere it because I want to tie the bow. I'm reading everybody's comments. That's why I went silent real quick. Oh no. Oh no, Willie broke the cricket. That's not good. Now, what would I be doing to adhere the vellum if I was gonna put it on like this? You know, I said like if you had an embellishment or a sentiment cluster here, I would just put adhesive down wherever it's going to get covered up. So if you were going to have something here, I don't even have like a shape or anything. I've actually somewhat, like, let's say this was going to be your sentiment. I would put the adhesive of the vellum behind where I'm going to have the sentiment. And then all this is just going to be free flowing, but that's fine. Okay. So you just need to hide your adhesive where you can. I like the tear and tape for the vellum, just because I feel like it's just a little extra security. I like being able to place it on there and then peeling the back off. And then what's kind of cool, so it's, you know, from the heat and everything, it does kind of have a little wave to it, which kind of creates its own dimension on its own. And to do a little bow here, this is a reminder, this is a 1-inch ribbon. And so I need to do this, and then I need to twist. And I'm going to flip this over because I'm trying to keep okay. That's much too big. Pull, pull, pull. And let me tell you, it was difficult to get this bow to that smaller size. I'm going to have a bit of an extra tail here, but that's okay. I'll make up for it on the other side. That's why I always encourage you to tie your bows on the spool, because it does allow you to have the room to work with. I could have done this with a shorter tail here, but it would have taken me a little bit longer. I'm going to pinch and cut towards the bow. Pinch. Cut towards the bow. And don't be afraid. Once you really have it, don't, especially with it being this wide of material, don't be afraid. Come in with, where are my tweezers? Like these. You know, whatever, use what you have. You know, I may not be able to get that gold to pop out, but the top is. And I can come through and I hold the center and then mess with my little tails here. Wow, that one cut terribly. What is up with that? That looks bad. I don't have a lot of extra to fix that either. There we go, that looks better. how do we put such a bow on the card? Glue dot. Take your pick tool. I'm going to take this, I'm going to ball it up slightly. I'm going to place it here. Not down. That is not going to be the only glue dot. Take your pick tool. I can lay it underneath the bottom bow. The bottom will stay, then the top will fluff. And I'm going to do that on both. You could do your little tails as well if you're concerned about their well-being, which I am. This one is fraying really weird. I like the higher you place it up from the tail, it gives just a little bit more flow action. Let's do one more. You know, again, this is a 1-inch ribbon. It's not what we're normally tying a bow with, but I made it happen. Isn't that so cool? I think it would look great with the silver too, but again, had to do the gold because of the ribbon. And then these are the simple ones. So this is like the snowflake paper. This background paper is, let me tell you the name of this paper pack. It's an underlooked paper pack. Where did it go? I just had it. Oh, here. It's a 6x6 and it's the Christmas Tags and More paper pack. And what is cool is there are cut aparts that you could do for tags, and there's little punch outs. See these? So yeah, we could come through and add like if I would have done it right, like maybe the little candy cane under the bow would have been cute. Or there's a green candy cane. There's a little bit of, you know. I think these things are going to be great for sentiment clusters, and it really goes well with. Will I be able to find the seasonal tags? Because you kind of have this greenery, and I think these this Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, or the smaller Merry, is sized well for tags, seasonal tags, and I think these images pair well with that. I might end up doing some heat embossing on some of my others with those smaller Merry Christmases to try to use some of these little punch outs. I love the poinsettia. You know, it's just kind of like a fun little thing. There's little bows, all kinds of things. So, I think this pack's available. I think it might have been out of stock at one point. So if it is out of stock, I'm sorry that I'm showing it to you. But it also features crumb cake, which is why these two are on a crumb cake base. And then here's the red one. And this is using the ever popular, which I know has gone in and out of stock a bunch, the Traditions of Christmas DSP, which is the beautiful, it has the gold foil, where I just added these embellishments. It didn't need a ribbon. It didn't even need these, honestly, but I thought maybe it did. And this one's even going that way. So I need to do a little inside. Probably add, what's nice if you're using the 6x6 papers, when you're cutting down this front, you'll have like little strips that you can add inside to help cut down on the space for your messaging, so it's not quite as overwhelming. So I would love to know, everybody who's watching live seems to love this. Again, if you don't have any vellum, pick some up. $10, 12 by 12. You could do this technique on a scrapbook page. I know I got at least 2 scrapbookers who are watching with this alcohol deal. I mean, cut it. I'd even cut it down, maybe take an inch off to make it 11 by 11, overlaid on even a plain piece of cardstock, and then doing this with your alcohol markers. I mean, that would be like a really... it was very tempting to do fall colors with this, but I feel like I've killed fall already and we're about done. Because we're at Christmas time, right? But you could do fall colors. Think about, you know, doing a bunch of pinks and purples together. I think Julie had mentioned pinks earlier for just birthday card. You could have a lot of fun, and it's really giving a unique card to all of your folks. You know, I don't know how many of you watching batch make cards. It's something I sometimes, like this, I would consider batch making. Now, they're all different outside of even, but they're kind of the same. But there's no way, it would be impossible for me to make this cardigan that looks just like this. It could get close, I suppose, but it's never going to look just like this. So it really does give, you know, this one, I could get close as well. This one would be a little bit harder. But if we just had the plain vellum with the Merry Christmas, we could make that all night. Like, I'd run out of paper. Right? So, I hope that this gives you a little inspiration. And then don't forget about just some other color combos out there. Would be a great way for masculine cards, too. Doing a bunch of blues or greens, blues and greens, and throw in, even if you just did a happy birthday cluster, put this on. This is what it looks like behind shaded spruce. Not anything great, but what about on Secret Sea? Ooh. Just having a card base and this with like a little circle or a punch or something that has happy birthday even just stamped on. That's all you need. But what if you had this and then you did a die cut out of this of a leaf or tree or some kind of random shape, right? Lots of options with this. And if you are, I like doing this type of project when I'm kind of like, I just want to do something fun. Because you could just play around. You could do the whole sheet at once and then cut them down. That would be possible. Or cut them down and then just play around with them. And even our mistakes, which this one I originally felt like was a mistake, but I'm just going to put a different sentiment on it, and it's really not going to be a mistake. Are going to be useful. Okay? You're going to be able to do something with it. All right. Let's check comments. Okay, everybody likes the card. Thank you. Mom's reminding everybody to like the video. Oh, Mom's giving a great tip. If you're watching later on and you don't have the live comments on, because I think it takes 1 or 2 days for the live comments to generate. With embellishments and the bows, I think I have an envelope close by because I had a small stack. So this is a kind of a bulky, oh, here. Let's switch. So this is a bulky bow. But when you put this in your envelope, don't put it in this way. Put it in backwards, your embellishments backwards. And now, it's a little bit more difficult, you know, like it's going to be easier to put this in like this. It's a, you know, they get stuck on there. But with your embellishments in the back, when it goes through the post thing, as it's sorting, it's less likely to get caught up on the machine with your embellishments in the back because it's reading the front. And really, this is even probably where it would start through the machine, so I probably would want that bow to be at the top here because it's going to go through the machine and get sucked in the right side first, and once it's in, it's in. Okay, so there's your card mailing tip. Put your embellishment, even with these, you're going to be more than likely okay front. But if you, I know it's easier to put them in the envelope this way. If you're hand delivering it, do that. But if you're putting a stamp on it in the mail, put your embellishments to the back. And you can avoid some extra postage that way. Okay. Tip, 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 tip. That's for free. Let's see. Julie, you do have the Merry Christmas stamp. I noticed you had ordered that. I think you're the only customer that I can think of who's actually ordered this stamp. It's a great stamp. This stamp will just probably stay in my permanent collection because it's an amazing font and it does make it fun and easy to do some Christmas cards. Okay. I think that might be it. One last reminder. Where's my notes? Ooh! Oh! Wait! Stop! Don't leave! I should have looked at my second set of notes. Where'd it go? Where is it? Do you want to kick your background up another notch? Yeah. Can you tell what's on there? It's Winka Stella. So we could take this. This is my little scrap of vellum here. I'm going to take my Winka Stella and I'm going to squeeze it. I have a little pool of Stella here now. And I'm going to load it on my brush. Now, I will tell you, it does take a little bit for the Winka Stella to dry on here. So this part, if you're adding this extra little something, which you could do after you do the sentiment, I suppose, too. Maybe this will end up being a cluster thing. Okay, so you have to set this off to the side to dry, so then you get this. I knew there was something I was forgetting. I'm just over here babbling about who knows what. I'll put it on this card base so then you can really see. Okay, that's your kicking it up a notch. But you can just just squeeze it out on a little scrap paper. I just used that little vellum scrap. And I did want to, because not really randomly, I ordered the Stampinup journaling pins, which are a newer item. And I wanted to test them out. And you get 3 in a pack for $10. And I did so now I have little Winka Stella blings everywhere. So these are designed for journaling for our scrapbooker friends, or if you just need a nice pen. Some people like to do lines, like with a ruler on their cards. But I did say, I wonder how this pen works on vellum, because what a cool thing to do, to use vellum for your journaling. And what makes it super cool is I could write everything here using my grid sheet. Today was 11/11/25. It was a good day. And I'm just going to put my little pen away. Wow, it's out of focus. Now that's better. And let's see how we did. What do you think? Are we going to smear? Are we not going to smear? How about that? It dries fairly quickly on the vellum, and now that could be added journaling on vellum. Not every pen's going to do that. Now, if it was wet or something, I think it would smear. But that dried fairly quickly. So that's the Stampin' Up! Journaling pens. They're a 0.4, and they just come in a pack like this. But I wanted to show that off. I think I got these the other day, and they've been sitting on my desk. I'm going to pop these over here so I have them. I haven't scrapbooked in a while. That's my December plan. I still have the scrapbooking workshop kit, which is the whole year of pages, that big kit. So, and that's still available, I do believe. Is my palm blue? No. And just as a reminder, the Advent calendar is still available. I haven't even opened mine yet. Maybe next week we'll open some Advent calendar stuff. $99? I think, what did I say? I think it's like $125 worth of product. You get a cool stamp set. There are spoiler videos out on the internet if you are that person. So, still available. And it's like all occasion products. Things do coordinate with this a little bit. Would be a really nice gift for yourself or your friend. So, don't forget about the kit drawing. We'll just post that one last time. If you order a kit this month and I sell 10, I'm at 3 of 10. Your name will be entered to win this exclusive pack of 12 DSP. The kits collection or the scrapbooking workshop kits qualify to enter to get this. I talked about it a little bit more at the beginning. Let me know if you have questions about that. And I guess I will let you go. Thank you for being here as always. And once again, I did get a card posted yesterday over on Facebook, and I have more scheduled. So if you haven't been seeing my Facebook posts, please, please, please head over to Facebook, search for my page, there's a post for today's video. But like yesterday's post, leave a comment, and that'll help get it back in your algorithm. I am working hard to get that post scheduled over there, up and running again, especially because I have a lot of Christmas cards. So I thought, okay, let's start to get some of those out to help that last minute. It's not quite last minute yet, but it's going to be last minute Christmas inspiration. If you've been around me for a while, you know this time of the year I'm always like in this mad dash to get the Christmas cards done. I'm just thrilled my Thanksgiving cards are done, and then I can move on to start planning for stamp club this month, because this will be our last meeting of the year. So thank you all for being here. I will be back next Tuesday at 6:30 Central Time here, and maybe I don't know for sure, but maybe we will work with the Advent calendar items, maybe to entice some of you to pick that up for yourself as a Christmas gift. You could just like get it and then wrap it up. It is an Advent calendar, so really it should be an Advent gift to yourself, and then get something else as a Christmas gift, right? Like, it could be a Christmas gift, but it's Advent. You know, we're counting down to Christmas or to Thanksgiving or whatever you want to count down to. Or in my case, probably just open the whole darn thing. All right, we'll see you around. Thank you all for being here. One last, make sure to like, subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you around the internet. And if you have not yet this week, mail a card to somebody. It can brighten their day. And yes, postage is a lot. For under $1, you can send a smile to somebody. Make it happen. Bye, everybody.